Can you? Okay, very good. Thank you, sir. So I have given the title to this topic as demystified. और मैं आपको बताऊं कि ये प्रोग्राम, ये जो सब्जेक्ट है, ये थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है। और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होने का कारण ये है कि इतने सारे स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं, और वो सारे स्टैंडर्ड्स को समझ पाना, वो सारे स्टैंडर्ड्स को कनेक्ट कर पाना, वो सारे स्टैंडर्ड्स की यूटिलिटी क्या है, उसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है, उस सब को समझ पाना, दिस इज़ अ बिग चैलेंज दैट वी हैव। सो व्हाट आई इंटेंड टू डू इज़, और मेरा ये एक्सपीरियंस है, मैंने देखा है कि जब भी अगर आप कोई चीज़ समझना चाहते हैं तो आप उसके लॉजिक में जाइए, और एक बार अगर आपका आपका आपके दिमाग में उसका लॉजिक बैठ गया, then things become very easy to understand and comprehend. So this is what I will do with you to begin with. Before we start all these standards one by one, I would go into the logic, understand the logic कि भाई standards की ज़रूरत क्यों है। वाई बिकॉज इतने सालों तक दुनिया में लोग बिजनेस कर रहे थे, सबके बिजनेस बड़े आराम से चल रहे थे, कंपनियां प्रॉफिट बना रही थी, कंपनियां प्रोडक्शन कर रही थी, कंपनीज मार्केट कर रही थी, सब कुछ चल रहा था। वाई इज दैट सडनली देर इज ए नीड फॉर द IFRS टू कम, और वाई देर इज सडनली ए नीड फॉर द स्टैंडर्ड्स टू कम? Now, you typically, when I'm doing a session, I would always like to give a chance to all of you to think about and give me the answer. But here we have a limitation, so I'm going to skip that particular question. But जरा सोचिए, जब मैं आपसे चर्चा कर रहा हूँ, जब मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, जब मैं ये टॉपिक को कवर कर रहा हूँ, तो जरा विचार करिए कि हाँ भाई, ये इंडेस की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी, IFRS की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी। अब तक भी तो बिजनेस चल रहा था, तो उसके बारे में सोचिए। और जैसे हम आगे बढ़ेंगे तो हम उसको और कनेक्ट करेंगे। और मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि एक बार आपके दिमाग में ये चीज़ बैठ गई कि इंडेक्स की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी, IFRS की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी। IFRS ऑफ कोर्स ग्लोबली, एज Zavri sir has very rightly explained it in a very very simple words. IFRS, it is at the global level, and when it comes to India, we call it as Indes. ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी, तो ये चीज़ को थोड़ा अगर आप समझ के लेंगे तो आई एम श्योर आप देखेंगे कि Indes becomes a subject very interesting to you. As a matter of fact, with that understanding, एक बार हमें ये ध्यान में आ जाए कि इंडेस क्यों, IFRS क्यों, एक बार ये कंसेप्ट दिमाग में बैठ जाए, तो हम देखेंगे कि इंडेस is no longer a difficult subject. Indes becomes a very very interesting subject, like a story book, and this is what would happen. So let me welcome all of you to this program, and I am titling this program as Indes Demystified, because that is what we are going to do over next few days. One by one we will be looking at different indices one by one. We will be understanding each and every index as to what is the logic, what is the reason, what is the purpose, what are the salient clauses, and how those salient clauses are to be implemented, how those clauses are going to impact the financial position of a company, what it would have been if this clause was not there, or things like that. So this is what we will do, and since we are going to demystify all those issues, that is why I have given title to this program as Indes Demystified. And friends, as you would all agree with me, regular training is absolute necessity, regular learning is absolute necessity, and Javri sir has very rightly said, and I can tell you friends, दुनिया में अगर सबसे बढ़िया कोई प्रोफेशनल कोर्स है with tremendous amount of utility and minimum cost, this is the cost of chartered accountancy. And that is why I would also like to congratulate you for coming up to the stage of final now, and I'm sure soon you will also become a qualified chartered accountant. I would like to start this story now that you are being a part of the community, being the part of the profession, or at the threshold of becoming the part of the profession. I would like to share with you a small story, and this story is to highlight the importance of learning in life, why it is necessary, why it is important that all of us need to continuously keep on enriching our knowledge, all of us need to continuously keep on updating our knowledge. Why is that so necessary? Once long time ago, बहुत पुरानी बात है, बहुत यानी कि बहुत पुरानी बात है। महाराष्ट्र के एक इंटीरियर गांव में एक आदमी था। द मैन वॉज वेरी स्ट्रांगली बिल्ट, 7 फुट उसकी हाइट थी एंड वेरी स्ट्रांगली बिल्ट। दुर्भाग्य से उसके पास में कोई क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं थी। ही वॉज नॉट हैविंग एनी क्वालिफिकेशन। तो उसने बेचारे ने बहुत जॉब ढूंढा, जगह जगह जॉब ढूंढा, लेकिन उसको कहीं जॉब नहीं मिला। लेकिन वो हार के परेशान होकर उसने सोचा कि भाई ये गांव मेरे लिए नहीं है, मैं गांव छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ। एंड ही स्टार्टेड वॉकिंग टुवर्ड द फॉरेस्ट। और वो जंगल की तरफ उसने जाना शुरू किया। चलते गया चलते गया चलते गया चलते गया चलते गया, आउट ऑफ फ्रस्ट्रेशन केप्ट ऑन गोइंग एंड गोइंग। आफ्टर ए वाइल ही केम अक्रॉस ए प्लेस वेयर ही सॉ सम पीपल वर चॉपिंग ट्रीज। कुछ लोग थे जो पेड़ काट रहे थे। अब बाय द वे मैं आपको बताऊं कि ये मैं जो स्टोरी आपको सुना रहा हूँ, आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस स्टोरी ओनली एज एन एग्जाम्पल। कटिंग ट्रीज इज बैड, वी शुड नेवर कट ट्रीज, रादर वी शुड प्लांट मोर ट्रीज। तो इस आदमी ने देखा कि कुछ लोग हैं जो पेड़ काट रहे हैं, तो उसको लगा यार कि ये जगह है जहां मुझे नौकरी मिल सकती है। सो दिस मैन वेंट टू दैट प्लेस और वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को मिला। उसने कहा कि सर कैन यू गिव मी ए जॉब। तो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर ने देखा इसको 7 फुट लंबा आदमी, हट्टा कट्टा। कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को लगा यार अगर ये बंदा मेरे लिए काम करेगा तो ये तो इतने पेड़ काटेगा कि मेरा तो पूरा एबिटा डबल हो जाएगा। सो ही सेड ऑफ कोर्स आई कैन गिव यू जॉब, बट कैन यू कट ट्रीज। तो द मैन सेड सर ऑफ कोर्स आई कैन कट ट्रीज, व्हाई नॉट। सो देन कॉन्ट्रैक्टर सेड ऑल राइट यू आर हायर्ड, ये कुल्हाड़ी लो, जाओ और पेड़ काटना शुरू करो। सो द मैन वेंट टू द फॉरेस्ट। वो जंगल में गया, उसने पहले ही दिन 100 पेड़ काट डाले। Contractor was very happy because never ever in his life anyone had cut more than 100 trees, more than 50 trees, and here was the man who on the very first day chopped 100 trees. So the contractor was very happy. Now the next day the man goes to the forest once again and he cuts only 70 trees. So when the contractor came to know of this, he was little disappointed. But he said, all right, 70 is also not a bad number. And in any case, this is much higher than the highest ever someone has done in my company, which is 50. So 70 is still high, so he's doing a good job. It's all right. Third day, the man goes to the jungle, to the forest, and he cuts only 40 trees. So today, when the contractor came to know that he has cut only 40 trees, he was furious. He called the man. He said, "What's wrong with you? Looks like just on the third day, and you already have stopped working." ऐसा लगता है कि पहले दिन आपने खाली मुझे इम्प्रेस करने के लिए 100 पेड़ काटे, आज तीसरे दिन यू आर कटिंग ओनली 40 ट्रीज, व्हाट्स रॉन्ग विद यू, हैव यू स्टॉप्ड वर्किंग। तो वो आदमी बेचारा बहुत दुखी होकर बोला कि सर मैंने काम करना बंद नहीं किया, बल्कि ऑन दी कॉन्ट्रेरी आज तो मैंने और भी ज़्यादा काम किया। जब पहले दिन मैं यहाँ आया था तो मैंने खाली 8 घंटे काम किया और 8 घंटे काम करके मैंने 100 पेड़ काटे। आज आपको वही 100 पेड़ काटने के लिए मैं 8 बजे के बजाय 14 घंटे काम किया, लेकिन 14 घंटा काम करने के बाद भी आई कुड कट ओनली 40 ट्रीज, आई हैव नॉट स्टॉप वर्किंग। मैं तो सर और बहुत ज़्यादा काम कर रहा हूँ। कॉन्ट्रैक्टर ने सोचा थोड़ी देर के लिए एंड देन ही अंडरस्टूड। ही सेड वेयर इज योर एक्स। सो द मैन वेंट आउट, ब्रॉट द एक्स विद हिम एंड गेव इट टू द कॉन्ट्रैक्टर। कॉन्ट्रैक्टर ने उस कुल्हाड़ी की धार को देखा और उसने आदमी से पूछा when did you sharpen it? And the man said, sir, I never had time to sharpen it. And friends, this is what exactly happens in the life of most of the people. They tend to become so busy in doing what they are good at that they forget to sharpen their axe. And when you don't sharpen your axe, then what happens? Your axe becomes blunt. When your axe becomes blunt, your productivity goes down. Your productivity goes down, you put in more hours. You put in more hours without sharpening your axe becomes even more blunt. And this is how you get into a vicious cycle and keep on frustrating despite putting tremendous amount of efforts in whatever you do. And that is why my heartfelt congratulations to all of you for being part of this profession. I'm sure as you move forward, you will realize that this is one decision that will always pay you very rich dividend. So let's start, friends. Now, as I said, कैसे बढ़ेंगे हम लोग आगे? हम लोग आगे एक बड़े सिस्टमेटिक तरीके से बढ़ेंगे और हम क्या करेंगे, हम हर एक चीज़ को बारीकी से देखेंगे, उसके लॉजिक में जाएंगे। तो अब सवाल ये, सबसे पहला सवाल ये है कि जैसा कि मैंने पहले कहा, इंडेक्स की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी, आईएफआरएस की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी, और उसके लिए हमको थोड़ा सा पीछे मुड़ के जाना पड़ेगा और समझना पड़ेगा कि व्हाट हैपेंड। नाउ प्लीज पे अटेंशन, इज वेरी सिंपल। सो हाउ द बिजनेसेस हैव इवॉल्व्ड ओवर द ईयर्स। अब देखो, शुरू में जब बिजनेस शुरू हुए होंगे, व्हाट वाज द पोजीशन इन गुड ओल्ड डेज? द बिजनेसेस वर स्मॉल इन साइज। जो आदमी बिजनेस को ओन करता था, वही बिजनेस को मैनेज करता था। Meaning what? Meaning, since the owner and the manager is same, and if the manager is making a mistake, is taking a wrong decision, he is not only suffering as a manager, he is also suffering as the owner of the business. And therefore, whatever he did was perfectly right, because it was not impacting anybody other than him negatively. फिर क्या हुआ? फिर बिजनेसेस के साइज बढ़ने लगे, बिजनेस बड़े होते गए। बड़े होते गए मतलब क्या है? नॉट ओनली द बिजनेसेस स्टार्टेड बिकमिंग बिग इन टर्म्स ऑफ साइज एंड द प्रोडक्शन एंड द वॉल्यूम एंड द कैपेसिटी, इवन द स्टेक होल्डर्स ऑल्सो केप्ट ऑन इंक्रीजिंग इन दोज बिजनेसेस। तो अब क्या हुआ? अब बिजनेस के साइज इतने बड़े हो गए, इतने बड़े हो गए, इतने बड़े हो गए कि वो ओनर के लिए मैनेज कर पाना मुश्किल हो गया, because the size of the business was too big, and that is why it was not possible for the owner to manage the whole business by himself. And therefore, over the years, the need arose to change the form of the business from the proprietary concern to the partnership, from the partnership to the private limited, from the private limited to the public limited, from the public limited to the listed company. So as the businesses started growing in size, the stakeholders kept on transforming from the owner manager to the investor, to the shareholder who was not involved into day-to-day affairs of the company. Meaning what? Meaning there was a full possibility that the people who were given the responsibility to manage that business, they might do some wrong practices, and therefore there was a need for evolution to happen. What evolution? Evolution that a person who is a shareholder in a company, who is not involved and engaged in the day-to-day operations of the company, there must be some mechanism by which he is able to know as to how the company is doing. And that is how, the accounting and everything came. But remember, it did not stop at that. So yes, all this happened within the boundaries of a country. So and for taking care of these reporting requirement within the boundaries of the company, the accounting bodies of the respective countries brought out their own standards, and just to ensure that the entire country followed the same accounting standard, the standards were brought out, and those standards were locally used, complied with by the companies in that country. But where are we today, or where we have started to be today in last 30-40 years? So there has been tremendous amount of globalization happening. There is a flow of capital, there is a flow of technology, there is a flow of people all across the border, as we can see. Meaning what? Meaning people from different countries are going and investing their money into different locations all over the world. अब समझ के लीजिए कि अगर मैं एक कंट्री अपने हिंदुस्तान के बाहर जाके कहीं पैसा लगाता हूँ, चाइना का एग्जांपल नहीं दूंगा आज की तारीख में, हालांकि चाइना का एग्जांपल सबसे पहले मेरे दिमाग में आता है, बट आई विल नॉट गिव यू द एग्जांपल ऑफ चाइना, बिकॉज चाइना की स्टोरी आज उल्टी हो रही है. Because of the coronavirus, what is happening is now people are not thinking in terms of going to China. Today people are thinking in terms of how to get out of China. And I'm sure all of you must have heard of it. The Japanese government has already told to the industries in Japan that get out of China. And not only that, a lot of other countries are also thinking in terms of getting out of the China. So that is the reality, and I'm sure in a way corona is going to be a blessing in terms of the economic growth, when many of these companies will move out of China and come to a place like India or Vietnam or Philippines or Indonesia. But India stands to be a major beneficiary. Coming back to the example, so now what happens? Now if I go and invest my money in a country like Japan, or somewhere in Europe, or in South Africa, or somewhere in America, now all these companies, all these countries have their own accounting standards. अब सीधी सी बात है कि उनके जो अकाउंटिंग के तरीके हैं वो लोकल हैं, वो उनके हिसाब से बनाते हैं. एंड दोज अकाउंटिंग प्रैक्टिसेस और द अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स दैट दे फॉलो, आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड देम. लेकिन मैंने तो मेरा पैसा लगा दिया, जापान में लगा दिया, अमेरिका में लगा दिया, साउथ अफ्रीका में लगा दिया, और पूरे दुनिया में लगा दिया एज एन इन्वेस्टर, एज अ बिजनेसमैन. बट इफ आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द अकाउंट्स ऑफ दोज कंट्रीज, देन हाउ एम आई गोइंग टू फिगर आउट कि भैया मेरा इन्वेस्टमेंट सेफ है कि नहीं है. And since the globalization was happening at a very rapid pace, extensively across the globe, and that is why the international accounting standard setting bodies, they thought of bringing out a global accounting standard, as Jhavre sir very rightly said, the IASB. So they started with the IFRS. And I'm so glad that he gave the example of what happened in London and what happened in Pittsburgh. And we in India, for the regions which sir explained very appropriately, we said it is not possible for us to adopt the IFRS as they are. We need to converge them, we need to localize them to suit our requirements, because there are certain things which we do differently than rest of the world. So it may not really be the case that every thing fits to everyone. So there are certain carve outs, and this is how we have these indes. So sir has very rightly said कि IFRS or indes in a way are same, but in terms of communication, when we say indes, we are talking India specific, and when we talk in terms of IFRS, we are talking about the globe as a whole. So friends, this is the background behind the IFRS and behind the indes also. अब क्या पर्पस है? पर्पस ये है कि अगर कोई इन्वेस्टर, अगर कोई बिजनेसमैन अपने कंट्री को छोड़ के दूसरे किसी कंट्री में इन्वेस्टमेंट करता है, तो क्या होना चाहिए? तो ये होना चाहिए कि ही शुड बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड रीड, इंटरप्रेट एंड मेक सेंस आउट ऑफ द अकाउंट्स मेंटेन्ड इन दोज डिफरेंट कंट्रीज. अब वो कैसे होगा? वो होगा बाय स्टैंडर्डाइजिंग. सो दैट मीन्स the accounting principles, the accounting practices, everything needs to be commonalized. So it has to be made कि whether you are in Australia or in New Zealand or in South Africa or in Luxembourg or in India, everybody keeps the accounts in the same way. So if everybody keeps the accounts in the same way, then I do not have to learn the accounting every time when I go to a new location. And this is the beauty of the IFRS, and this is the beauty of indes. अच्छा, अब ऐसा है कि उसमें भी फिर बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. अब देखिए, अकाउंटिंग का बेसिक पर्पस क्या है? अकाउंटिंग का बेसिक पर्पस, एज वी ऑल नो, ये है कि वो अकाउंट्स देख के मुझे मालूम पड़ना चाहिए कि मेरी कंपनी की सही पोजीशन क्या है. और मेरी कंपनी की सही पोजीशन क्या है, इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब यह है कि आज की तारीख में वेयर डू आई स्टैंड. एंड अब जरा ध्यान दीजिए, अगर मैं बोलता हूँ कि आज की तारीख में वेयर डू आई स्टैंड, इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब यह है कि हिस्टोरिकल अकाउंटिंग विल नॉट सर्व माई पर्पज. इट हैज़ टू बी done in a way so that it is current, and that is how the fair value accounting comes in the picture. That means the focus in the index in the IFRS is on fair value accounting. Fair value accounting का मतलब क्या है? As the name suggests, fair, सही, क्या है वो. So this is how, you, as we will progress and discuss all these standards one by one, and we would understand as to how the fair value accounting is going to creep into different standards, and this is what it is. So this is the evolution of these standards over the centuries. Who the businesses are responsible to and why? Unlike in the past, one would feel that the businesses were responsible only to the owner. Not anymore. Of course, no doubt, in the current scenario, the thought process is that you have a prime stakeholder. As Javed sir very rightly said, the prime stakeholder, and the thought process is also that the accounts are prepared for the prime stakeholder. But there are prime stakeholders and there are secondary stakeholders, and so this is what it is. I have already discussed what is standard and why standards. So as I have explained already, why standard and what is the standard. Standard is to put the practices which are uniformly applicable across the entire population. So if it is the business, the the population becomes the entire globe. So the entire globe has to follow the same accounting standards, and that is the standard that I'm referring to. Now here, one more thing that we need to understand, friends, when we have to understand the index, and what we need to understand is very clearly corporate governance. Now, what we have to understand, not only what is corporate governance, but we also need to understand the relationship between the corporate governance and the accounting standard. As a matter of fact, I'm sure all of you would have many times must have read about it, must have heard about it. There is a very close relationship between the accounting standards and the corporate governance. As a matter of fact, in last 20 years, there has been a lot of emphasis across the globe on the corporate governance. One can define corporate governance in many ways, and you can go on talking and talking as to what is corporate governance for hours altogether. But my simple definition, which I would like to share with you, of corporate governance is very simple. What is corporate governance? To do the business in the way in which it should be done is good corporate governance. यानी कि जिस तरह से आपको बिजनेस को करना चाहिए, आप बिजनेस को उस तरीके से करें. That means you are complying with the corporate governance. It is as simple as that. अब सवाल ये है कि किस तरह से बिजनेस को करना चाहिए वो समझना जरूरी है, क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पे होती है. Why the failure of the corporate governance happens? The failure of corporate governance happens because the people who are at the helms, they themselves do not understand as to how the businesses, how the corporates are to be governed. And friends, the corporates are to be governed in one very single way. And what that way is? That way is the businesses need to understand what is purpose of the business. And if you understand what is purpose of the business clearly, then there is no problem at all. You only need to ensure that you follow, you act in a way which is going to ensure that you are achieving purpose of the business. And what is purpose of the business? Now, in my understanding, purpose of a business is very simple, and that is to create value. That is to create value. So what is the purpose of a business? The purpose of a business is to create value. I would have loved to interact with all of you on this question as to what is purpose of a business, to understand from you as to what do you think is the purpose of the business. And I know when I ask you this question as to what is purpose of a business, most of you would think that the purpose of a business is to make profit. And let me tell you, friends, purpose of a business is not to make profit. And I'm sure when I'm telling you this, most of you must be getting shock of your life as to how can I say that the purpose of a business is not to make profit. And let me explain to you. And remember, friends, this is very important. This is very, very important because all of us today or tomorrow are going to be responsible for the for implementation of corporate governance wherever we may be. And for all of us, it becomes very important to understand in very clear terms as to what is corporate governance. For all of us, it becomes very important to understand in very clear terms as to what is the purpose of a business. And as I said, friends, purpose of a business is not to make profit. And why do I say so? I say so because if the purpose of a business was to make profit, then you would not see a company called Google. Why? Because Larry Page and Sergey Brin, founders of Google, in very first few years started making profit. And they would have said, purpose of a business is to make profit. We have earned profit. Purpose is achieved. Let us close the business. If the purpose of a business was to make profit, you would not see a company called Microsoft. Why? Bill Gates, in the very beginning of his operations, made profit. And he would have said that the purpose of a business is to make profit. Purpose is achieved. Let us close the business. And remember, if the purpose of a business was to make profit, you would not see today a company called Apple. Why? Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, the founders of Apple, again made profit in very first few years of their operations, and they would have said the same thing, that the purpose of a business is to make profit. We have achieved profit, let us close the business. Purpose is achieved, let us close the business. And let me go one step further. Why go outside India? Let us come back to India. If the purpose of a business was to make profit, then you would not see an empire called Tata. Why? जमशेदजी टाटा, जब उन्होंने आज से 100 से भी ज़्यादा साल पहले जब स्टील प्लांट सेटअप किया बिहार में, जमशेदपुर में, he started making profit after a few years of his operations. And he would have said the same thing, that the purpose of a business is to make profit. I have made profit. Purpose is achieved. Let me close the business. So please remember, purpose of a business is not to make profit. And why do I say this? And now please pay attention. I say that purpose of a business is not to make profit. Why? Because in business, making profit is mandatory. In business, making profit is compulsory. In business, making profit is non-negotiable. In business, making profit is not a matter of choice. In business, making profit is not an option. If you are in business, you better make profit. If you are in business, you better make profit. And if you are in business and if you cannot make profit, the least that you can do is to hand that business over to somebody who can make profit out of it. And remember, that is why you have this new law called IBC. What is IBC? What is the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016? It is all about that. तो अगर आपके बिजनेस में अगर आप प्रॉफिट नहीं कर रहे हो, that means you are not able to pay to your creditors, operational creditors or the financial creditors, then what you need to do? You do not have to do anything. Your creditors will do. They will take you to NCLT, file an application against you, and then you are removed from the management of the company, and the management of the company is given to somebody. An attempt is made that this company is given to somebody so that the insolvency of this company is resolved and this company starts making profit. And therefore, I'm coming back to the same point, friends, and I want this to be remembered by you absolutely very, very clearly, that the purpose of a business is not to make profit. And the question is, if the purpose of a business is not to make profit, then what is the purpose? The purpose is to create value. Please understand, a business is an engine for bringing socio-economic transformation in the economy of that country. In the economy of that country. Meaning what? So what is the meaning of value creation? What a business is supposed to do? A business is supposed to run itself in a manner so that it makes things better today than what they were yesterday. And that is the purpose of a business. But for the benefit of every one of us, I may like or you may like to hear this slightly differently. So maybe you may like to feel that the purpose of a business is to create value by making profit. And of course, remember, unless and until you make profit, you cannot create value. So you can take this purpose of a business as to create value by making profit, or if you want, you can also take the purpose of a business as to make profit by creating value. And therefore, remember, friends, what is corporate governance? Corporate governance is nothing whether your business, whether the company that you own, whether the company that you're working for, whether that company is creating value by making profit or making profit by creating value. So if the company for which you are working, if the company that you own, if the company of which you are a shareholder, if that company is making profit by creating value or creating value by making profit, this company is complying, this company is automatically following the corporate governance. And friends, to ensure that a business is following corporate governance, how will someone who has invested his money into that company will come to know of it? He will come to know of it only when he gets the accounts of that company in his hands. Accounts of that company in his hands, prepared how? Prepared by following some standards and what that standard which is followed uniformly across the population, and so that is why I would say this is the corporate governance. So I'm just going to repeat it once again for the clarity. So what is corporate governance? Corporate governance is to make profit by creating value or creating value by making profit. Either way you say is perfectly fine. So long the business is doing this, I think the business is in compliance with the corporate governance. What is the relationship between the corporate governance and the accounting standard? Because unless and until the company follows a standard practice, standard accounting, it would be very difficult for someone from outside to figure out whether this company is really complying with the corporate governance or not. And for that reason, friends, there is a need for creating a global accounting language, which is the IFRS, and in turn, which is Ind AS in the context of India. Now, what is Ind AS and what is the relationship with IFRS? I think Jhaveri sir has very lucidly explained this already. When you say IFRS and Ind AS, remember, for all practical purposes are same. The only difference is when you say IFRS, it is in the context of the entire globe and about 140 countries. And when you say Ind AS, it is India specific with some carve-outs in case of the IFRS. So that is the relationship between the IFRS and Ind AS. Now at this point in time, friends, I would also like to mention here कि थोड़ा सा एक और डिफरेंस है, और वो डिफरेंस है between the IFRS and Ind AS with regard to the series. Now, what happens in case of IFRS? Now, IFRS initially were, in the form of IAS, International Accounting Standards. So all put together, before IASB became, there were 41 different international accounting standards that were floated. After the advent of IASB, a new series has started, and that series is referred as IFRS. So what you had, and the old series, out of the old series, which is as International Accounting Standards, that series continues. The only thing is, many of those standards have been withdrawn or have been replaced by a new standard, which is now titled as IFRS. So IFRS has got two things. One is IAS, which are the old standards, and number two is the IFRS, which is the new series. So both of them put together with IFRIC and SIC, four of them together, they form the IFRS. So collectively ये चारों को IFRS कहते हैं. In case of Ind AS, what we have is the IAS that we had correspondingly in India. We continue to have those standards as index, uh, and the numbering that was earlier that continues. The new IFRSs which are brought out by the IASB are given a new series, and that starts from 101. So IFRS 101 is on first time adoption of the IFRS in case of India. Okay, they would call it IFRS 1. In case of India, we would call it as Indes 101. So the series would start from 100 in India, and there it would start as 1, because in our case the names continue to be the same. So Indes continues as earlier, and in a new IFRS we start with a new series, and that series start with 101. So this is the another things that we have with regard to the relationship between the IFRS and the Indes. Okay, so in Indes, okay, so I think this is what what I have already explained. Good. Would love to have some questions for you from you before we move forward. So in case if somebody has any question, you are welcome to ask me. Anyone who would like to raise a doubt, raise a question, seek a clarification, please feel free to ask me, and I would be very happy to respond to your questions.